Imagine a conscious contact with God so strong that no matter what you are doing or not doing, that no matter what your kids are up to or not up to, and that whether you've got the person of your dreams or they're just not cooperating, that you are happy, content, and at peace. A space where everyone else's thoughts, attitudes, and actions are beautiful and exactly as they are supposed to be. Well, this is the space where I like to play. My name is Mischa Z, and this is today's Bitch Slap. Join me as I shed light on the thoughts, actions, and attitudes that are causing you pain, and we train our minds to go to the capital S inner self, the joy that is waiting for us, the God within.
All right. Today we're going to talk about gratitude and perhaps some counterintuitive thoughts that I've had on gratitude. Maybe not only counterintuitive as to what to write down for me. And this is for me. Last episode, I was talking about Adam, who's so graciously customer tech support over at GoDaddy, who reminded me that change your perspective and the things you look at change. Thank you for that, Adam. But when I started going on my little riff on that and thanking Adam, and I started to talk about gratitude and how powerful gratitude can be in our lives. And we hear all the time, gratitude lists, make gratitude lists in the morning, 5 things you're grateful for. Just if you're upset in the moment, find something to be grateful for. And it is such a powerful tool. And I came across I'll talk about 2 things in regard to gratitude. One is that perhaps how we look at gratitude isn't right sometimes. And then 2, go ahead and write down the negative things in your life on the gratitude list. So those are my 2 counterintuitive thoughts, right? So I think oftentimes we're told to be grateful what you have as to what other people don't have. And I think that implies that the shiny objects are to be grateful for, right? Or in extreme circumstances, be grateful you've got your feet and you can walk, because some people don't, right? And I'm not saying don't be grateful for that, but when we start comparing, and it's kind of a nuanced way to look about it. And this idea was brought to me. I think I read it in A Course in Miracles. I'm all into A Course in Miracles, and I'm not saying this is what the Course in Miracles said. It's the way I interpreted it. But it was like, hey, if we continue to compare ourselves to others and try to see how we're better off, that's actually perhaps not healthy, because the better off is an illusion, right? And I actually love that idea. It's like trying to find the God gratitude versus the I've got gratitude versus the compared gratitude. Because the illusion is my life's better because I have this. Well, the reality is a lot of the I have this has been a source of major discontentment in my life, right? And so let me try and tie that. I appreciate you going down this path with me. But I was thinking, as I was on a meeting the other day, on a Zoom meeting with a group of people, and gratitude was the topic. And of course, people were talking about gratitude lists. And in the back of my head, or in my mind, I started thinking about, according to this, well, all right, maybe I don't on my gratitude list put the things that I've got that you don't. So therefore I'm grateful. Running water all the way up to shiny house to whatever, And I was like, what if I started writing down the supposed negative things in my life and to be grateful for them, right? And I thought, that's an interesting thought. And then I immediately went to, well, let's put down the top worst things in my life that perhaps I've seen or would be perceived as bad, or all these ideas. So when I got sober back in the day, when I was 17 years old, and because I was gonna die, I was dying from alcohol and drugs. There was the final, moments in jail. There was that the judge, laying the hammer down. Like there was the I was crushed. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. And it's given me like the addiction and chemical dependency and all that is actually the best thing that happened to me. It's given me an amazing perspective on life. It's given me access to a higher power that provides me immense contentment and freedom and joy and peace in the moment. And it actually introduced me to a framework of how to live life, like steps. Here's some steps you can take to have a good life. And I really learned, oh my God, like if you follow steps, you can have success. If you see something out there that is calling to you and someone's done it before you and they have a framework for you to follow, you can literally go follow that framework and have success. I mean, and get the end result or some piece of it or some part of it, right? I guess some people might go, I want to go be a neurosurgeon, but perhaps their hands are too shaky, or perhaps their mental capacity is geared towards something else and not neuroscience or neurosurgery or whatever, But I think you get what I'm saying. And then there was the darkest days of that final breakup that I went through that just emotionally devastated me. This was 7 years ago or something by now. But again, in that moment, I would have told you it was horrible. But I was devastated. But again, it's brought me so much freedom and insight and like release from pent up emotions and fears. And it's just brought me so close to my God, my higher power, my source, like new levels again of freedom and release of the illusions of those shiny objects that I think I've got to have to be happy, And I had come up with this whole list of the worst things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I started looking at what's the available lesson in every supposed negative thing, wow. So start making that my gratitude list, all the bad things, I'm trying to think of a bad thing right now I could put on my list. The neighbor planted a tree. I'm like, God damn it, that's going to grow and impede whatever view of some damn thing I've got. And I'm like, all right, you know what the trees do? They just bring amazing birds, and they actually provide shade, and any foliage, like it dampens sound. So any road noise, it actually makes everything more peaceful. I swear. I get that a lot as I'm sitting in my house and I hear the birds chirping all over the place. I'm like, oh my God, if there wasn't all this foliage around impeding my view of whatever, the bank across the street. um, then there wouldn't be these birds that are just there's so many amazing birds flying around here. The life that the birds bring is incredible. But that's just one example. And so I also started thinking, the gratitude for, like, if your God's big enough, you can be grateful for the fact that we have breath today. But even then, it's like, if my God's big enough, like there's more next, there's something, or there's more meaning than just my egoic attachment to this to how I feel right now. And so you can be grateful for death too. You can be grateful for the way, grateful for creation, grateful for the way everything works, supposed good or bad, just like a core knowing gratitude. Yeah. There's that guy, Nick. I wish I could remember his last name. But he effectively has, he's had some disease when he was a kid. God, I wish I could remember his last name. But he's so powerful because he's got basically one arm, and on this arm, he's got, like a couple fingers. So it's like one big finger. I don't know, but so much of what he does, and when I see him, on the Instagram or whatever, and I've had the opportunity to see him speak live twice, once in person and once on like a Zoom thing during the COVID. But I got to see him at Funnel Hacking Live. I got to see him live, but also he was hanging out a bunch at Funnel Hacking Live. That was the great thing about Funnel Hacking Live 2021. If you ever have an opportunity to go to one of these things, you should, because all these amazing speakers, if you're into this kind of stuff, like Nick was there hanging out. He was just hanging out, rolling around in his wheelchair with his posse, his crew, fully accessible. You could talk to him as much as you wanted. Then his parents were there. Actually, it was funny. I had a moment to talk to his parents, but I was like, who's the old people? Older than me people. Or actually, they're probably my age. But I went to talk to somebody I knew. I had one of those moments of talk to someone you don't know or talk to the person you know. And for whatever reason, I was like, I wasn't feeling like introducing myself or striking up a new conversation because I had some fear and insecurity, right? And so I went and talked to the people that I knew. And I looked back over and Nick rolls up, and it turns out these people that I weren't going to talk to, who looked like they were looking for someone to talk to because they didn't know anybody. And then all of a sudden there was Nick talking to his parents. And I was like, what the hell? What a crazy, I could have had so much fun talking to his parents just to get insights into what they feel, experience, like to get the parental perspective of a son who's just empowering people through his supposed defects, physical defects. It's like unbelievable. But anyway, it's a good reminder for me next time if I have the opportunity to put my fears aside and embrace the unknown of who I don't know. Anyway, got so many thought loops going here, but Nick is so great at pointing out that the body stuff is the illusion, man. Like when I have been in physically fit, like in my best physical fitness, or I think I'm my most handsomeness, shininess, right? Like the most egoic stuff to offer, have sometimes been my deepest points of insecurity. And he just shines a light on that on me, and it's beautiful, and I love it. He's like, your body is nothing. And like he talks about how his physical defects are the biggest gifts in his life. And I believe it, man. I see it in action. So anyway, Nick, God bless you. I'm going to end there and just say quick that like, hey, maybe start writing down on your gratitude list the top 5 things that you're unhappy about that cause you discontent, and look for where you can find the goodness in that. Because that's it, man. Shit keeps coming at us in life, and we get to find gratitude in it, or we don't. Anyway, I'm out. Enough of my pontificating. I hope this made some sort of sense. Please reply back. Go into the show notes. I believe it's contact@beloved.media. Send me an email. Yeah, right on. I was relating. Or, man, you're full of crap. Anyway, love to all. Peace out.
Thank you for spending time with me today. As someone who is committed to growth and service to this world, I so appreciate your willingness to come with me, go within, and serve our world through change. If you found value in this podcast and you know someone who can use this message, share this episode with them. Share it so our mission can be achieved one episode at a time. And of course, subscribe so you can hear more. And lastly, for more resources on what has helped me on my journey and can help you on yours, go to belove.media/resources. That's BELOVE.media/resources. Thank you again for listening.